Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
Well, happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where we have a very, very special guest in the house this morning. It's our good friend and JAFE member, Mitch Costilow. So thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I think you have your JAFE hat on today. You're a man of many hats.
Yeah, I stay pretty busy.
Yeah, but you do have on the JAFE hat today, and we're going to talk about something fun you guys have coming up.
Yes.
Yeah.
March the 9th.
Woo-hoo.
8 a.m. we have the JAFE Springdance. A lot of you have been to it. Most people that come to it come back to it.
Yep.
We have an excellent crowd. We have an excellent band. It's Rick Kay and the All-Nighters. If you've never seen them, they're a very high-energy show band. Does 50s, 60s, 70s, up through today.
They're fun, yeah.
Yes.
A lot of fun. So, can we back up for a minute and talk about, in case our viewers don't know who JAFE is, could you tell us a little bit about that?
JAFE is short for the Jackson Area Festivals and Events. The biggest thing we put on that you know of is the Apple Festival.
Yeah, just that little thing called the Apple Festival. It's not a big deal.
Yes. We also do several food drives throughout the year.
Yes, you do.
Giveaways at the JAFE building. We're involved in a lot of projects in the community. And this is one of our more fun projects we've got coming up. Also, we do children's toy drive in the winter.
Yes, part of that.
Jeeping for Joy and several things to raise money for the Christmas projects. We just stay busy pretty much all year long.
You do, and you know, of course, the main thing that I think people think of when it comes to JAFE is the Apple Festival. And, you know, that's just a little thing you all just do once a year. It's not a big deal, right?
Yeah, we don't start planning for it until, before the last one's over. We're planning on
It takes over a year to plan. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. And I promise it does not magically appear and magically disappear. There's a lot of work involved in the Apple Festival, and it comes down to the shoulders of you guys and gals on JAFE.
Yes, there's a lot of work goes into it. I mean, you go uptown and see the booths set up and stuff, not realizing those were done by all volunteers putting these up.
Yes.
Guys work and plan on this thing, and all the equipment needs maintained and contracts signed and entertainment found, and all that stuff goes throughout the whole year.
You know, and again, it does take well over a year to plan a festival if you're doing it properly. And even if you've done it for however many years the Apple Festival has been going on now, 80-some?
83.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. It still takes that long to plan. But so you guys talk about, if you would, and I know it's probably not your department, but I know that there was a recent convention, and how does one like schedule the entertainment for the Apple Festival and that kind of thing?
Well, a lot of it, we have an agent that brings us a list and he follows a lot of the acts. He knows what's up and coming. He sees, who's really popular at the time.
Who's working out and who's available and all that.
And in our price range, definitely.
Well, then there's that little thing too.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to charge.
Right.
And yeah.
You got to watch your dollars when you're not charging admission.
Yes. Yeah.
We looked at the list one time and could have got Kenny Chesney for $1.5 million, but that's not really us.
Why wouldn't you? Can you imagine? Jackson wouldn't know what to do with itself.
No.
Yeah, I don't think we would have been able to handle Kenny Chesney here in the downtown streets.
No.
I mean, we would have tried, but people have been climbing buildings and everything else trying to see.
Yeah, we have people looking out the windows upstairs. And actually, when Low Cash was here, they got on top of the Cambrian and played guitar from the top of the Cambrian.
Did they really? Now that's crazy stuff. So, but no, you guys have had some really fun acts over the years. And like kind of just all over the place, different genres and things like that.
And to be honest, we've just plain got lucky a few times.
Yeah.
We got Lady Annabelle, Lady A now, I guess.
Yes.
Before they were big.
Little Big Town.
Yeah, we got Little Big Town.
Right before they well, I mean, they were kind of huge when by the time they got here, they were big.
We're booking them close to a year ahead of time.
Yeah.
So, you're just crossing your fingers and hoping, and some of them have really played out well for us.
That's right. So who's been some of your favorite, just personally, some of your favorite acts that you have seen?
Like I said, Low Cash, I really enjoyed. And I'm kind of biased for a couple, three of them because some of them I got to hang out with while they were here. So.
Well, that's true. When you get that personal relationship, and it's funny. I've noticed just in doing what I do here. We are going to get to the dance, by the way, but I thought this is like kind of fun to talk about while you're here. Some people are nice and kind and gracious, and some of them aren't so much.
That's true. That is very true. The majority of them have been wonderful. One of the best ones we've had, Aaron Tippin, when he was here, super, super nice guy.
Okay, I could see that.
And I got to be honest with you, my experience has been the bigger they are, usually the nicer they are. It's just starting to get big people that really have the personality issues.
Well, and I think I can tell you one in particular that was just not very nice, and I won't get into it because it doesn't matter now. But I thought, wow, you are just not very, very kind. The Kentucky Headhunters were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They were so fun to talk to. I remember talking to them, and there's been, of course, several throughout the years that I've really enjoyed interviewing and have been kind enough to, sit down and talk to us here in little old Jackson, Ohio, which is pretty fun. But you guys have brought some major, major entertainment to our area.
And that's our goal. We try to scout them out every year. And we talk with this agent. Like I said, he usually knows who's up and coming. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. But we've got really lucky a couple of times.
Very cool. So do you all is there any little hints of who will be at the Apple Festival this coming year?
I got to be honest with you. I don't know who's coming this year. I'm not on the entertainment committee.
I was hoping we would break it here first.
Yeah, I don't know this year.
He could tell you, but he'd have to kill you. No, I'm just kidding. But no, that'll be fun. It's always somebody really, really good, and that's a lot of fun. And again, the Apple Festival, you guys do every year and work your rear ends off all year long to put that on, for the betterment of the town, and so people can just enjoy our little area. And
we enjoy doing it. It's like I said, it's an all volunteer organization, but obviously we enjoyed. I did my first one in '83, and I'm still doing it now. So
a few years ago, yeah,
it's been a while.
We'll go with that. So, JAFE as a group, are you accepting new members? How does that work?
Always accepting new members.
Okay, and what's required, or how does someone join?
Just get a hold of a JAFE member, anyone that that. And we get a lot of our members during the Apple Festival because they can pick us out. We're up there in Apple Festival shirts. They know who the JAFE members are. But the food drives, you'll see people working the food drives. Come to the Spring Dance in March. It's put on by JAFE members.
I mean, yeah, you're going to find lots of JAFE members there at the Spring Dance, and this is a perfect opportunity for you to get to meet some of them, find out what they do, and just have a lot of fun along the way.
Yes, because and any JAFE member is more than happy to talk to you about the program. We need people. As any volunteer organization nowadays, we need
absolutely.
People. It's hard to do the things that we put on without the help. So we're looking for young people.
Yeah.
When I joined in '83, there were 18, 19, 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, and now probably the majority of us are over 40, and a lot of us in our 50s, and some in our 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely need, new generations to come step up, and because we certainly want all these great things. We want the Apple Festival to continue on and all of this great stuff that you guys do along the way. The food drives, when did those start? I just remember, a couple years ago, or has it been going on for a long time?
It's been going on, I'm going to say 7 or 8 years, probably. I'm not exactly sure on that one, but
And how did that whole thing come to be? Do you know?
I do. Ron Carter, his dad was a preacher, and
Yes.
they used to do food drives back in the day.
Okay.
And then Ron just decided that's something he would like to continue and bring it to JAFE. And we were able, where we're a 501c3 nonprofit, we're able to get donations for that kind of stuff.
That is so good.
And it's just worked out well for us. We've been able to get a lot of stuff from the food banks and donations from the people in town, and really have given away literally tons of food down there.
You know, and you have, and if anybody's encountered the traffic involved in that, you'll understand that it is so so well attended, but so much needed and appreciated too. And you guys have bought or built that beautiful building there to the side of Walmart on McCarty Lane. So you have your own building now, and that's a perfect place for people to get in and out and do the food drive as well.
Yeah, they actually load the food inside the warehouse.
So
So
awesome.
you drive through in one door and out the other, and when you come out, you got food.
It works. I mean, that is just such a good setup.
Yes.
So, and you do those a few times a year, right?
Yeah, I think they do probably 6 or 7 of them a year.
Yeah. So make sure you guys let us know when they're happening, or you can come in and talk about that too.
Okay. Like I said, Ron Carter is the guy that's over it. He's the one guy that started, and I'm sure he'd be more than happy to come in and talk to you.
Well,
about
you
it.
send that Ron Carter fella in. He was fortunate enough to graduate high school with me.
Oh.
Yeah, we were in the same class a few years ago. we just go with a few years ago.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so back to the dance. This is something that you all do kind of as well to have fun, number one, but also as a fundraiser to put on some of the things that you guys do, like the food drive and all of the other things that you do throughout the year. So let's talk about the spring dance. And y'all have been doing this for a while. And
Yeah,
it is fun.
and I'm not exactly sure how many years. I'm going to say probably 15 or 20. And it's always been the same band. It's always been Rick Candy All-Nighters, because if we tried to change it, they would hang us.
Oh, people would lose their minds.
I mean, as soon as I signed the contract with Rick K to come this year, I started getting emails from people that follow Rick. One guy comes from Florida, brings a crowd from Florida every year for this dance.
Isn't that hilarious?
He got a hold of me the day after I signed the contract, wanting to get a table. It's crazy.
That is so good. And is it going to be at the Memorial Building again, or
Yes.
have you moved it?
Nope, it's going to be in the Memorial Building.
Okay, and easy to get in and out.
Mhm.
You've got some parking there, no problem. So yeah, it's just a good time. So tell us about the logistics of what will happen in that evening.
Okay, like I said, the dance runs from 8 to 12. It is a BYOB. You bring your own food, your own drinks, and you are limited only by your imagination. You have a table come, and they'll bring 2 bags of chips, and another table will come and bring a full spread of food.
Yes,
You know,
like crock pots and the whole 9
Yeah.
yards. Like, it's wild.
and then, one table will have a 2-liter Pepsi, the next table will have a full bar. You just never know. People do all kinds of things. They plan for this ahead of time, and they have a really good time with it.
Well, it is because it is a good time.
It is an excellent time.
And it's all kind of spearheaded by, well, you guys, but also, Rick K and the All-Nighters are just so much fun.
Oh, they are
So
very
fun.
entertaining band. Very entertaining.
Absolutely. So, okay, so let's talk about admission, because I know that you guys, you can get in. Of course, you can just come by yourself if you want, but there's tables involved and all kind of different things. So there's different ways that you can attend the dance.
Now, and a lot of our tables, a lot of businesses buy corporate tables because you get advertising with them, and it's a deductible expense is advertising. But for a corporate table, it's $300, and that includes eight seats. It's a reserve table, and the corporate tables are up closest to the dance floor. If you don't want to buy a corporate table, they also have reserve tables, which are $200 and still get you 8 seats. You just don't get the advertising.
Gotcha.
And then there's individual tickets you can buy at the door. They're $30 a piece.
Okay.
Typically, most of our stuff is sold through tables because people want to sit with their friends. They get a group of 8 together. And if you have more than 8 people, we can add seats. We can add a second table if we need to.
Okay.
A lot of our businesses will buy a corporate table and then a reserve table behind it. So
Okay.
they got 16 seats, and they all sit together.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, like you said, your imagination's the limit, right?
Yes.
Like, however you want to do it. If you want to come and be a theme, have a luau party, we don't care. Like, just come and
Absolutely.
have fun.
We've got tables where sometimes the ladies all like to dance and the guys don't, so they just sit around and talk and have a few drinks and talk to each other while the ladies are out dancing, and just
Yeah.
something for everyone. Everyone.
Yeah, and if you're a couple or two couples that want to come, totally fine too. There'll be plenty of tables and stuff for you to hang out at as well.
Yep. We have a line dancing group that comes. They usually buy several tables, and they have a ball with it.
I'll bet.
Yeah. And there's always someone up dancing, so you don't ever have to worry about being the one person that goes up on the dance floor. 'Cause
Oh
there's
yeah.
always someone dancing.
Yeah, and the more drinks people get in them, the more dancing
More
they
dancing
do.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the better they get in their own mind, anyway.
In their own mind. Yes. Yes. Yeah. You just become such a
Yeah.
good dancer later on.
Yeah. That's something.
And singer.
Yeah. Something else we had last year. We're doing a bourbon raffle now, and it's some very
Oh.
nice bourbons. Blanton's, Eagle Rare, several things, and the winner takes the whole table, and it's some pretty nice stuff. And the raffle's going on now, but they'll draw it at the spring dance on the 9th.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you get tickets for that?
Um, I'd like to say I have them with me, but Jason Crabtree runs a bourbon raffle. Get a hold of Jason,
Okay.
and he's in the process of getting tickets out to all us JAFE members so we can sell them. I usually
Very good.
find they're very easy to sell.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Everybody's into bourbon right now.
Yes. But that's another thing. And we also sell split spot tickets at the dance. So usually somebody takes home a pretty good chunk of money.
There you go.
So it works out well.
Love that split the pot. It's win-win for everybody.
Yes.
You just can't go wrong with that.
No, it's worked out well for us the last few years, and we have a big crowd. I mean, we really do fill the place up.
Yeah. And it's just a good time. I mean, it's winter time. There's nothing else going on. Everybody's all depressed and sad because the weather sucks. And come out and party and have a good time. And you don't have to party. Just like when I say party, I mean dance and
Yeah.
have fun and
Whatever
laugh
you-
and
yeah.
smile. Whatever party is to you.
I mean, like I said, we have several tables that have drinks. We have several tables that are just doing pop or water or punch or whatever they feel like doing.
Yeah.
And if you
it's
want
up
to
to
do a
you.
punch bowl in the middle of your table, have at it.
Go for it.
I mean, it's a good crowd. We never have any trouble. Like I said, it's usually the same crowds every year because anybody that's been to it comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, rarely do you ever have anyone come to it and say, I didn't enjoy myself. I'm not
Oh,
coming.
no.
Doesn't
That's
happen.
not going to happen. You may have had too much fun.
Yeah.
That's
That
possible. Yeah. I could see that. But no, come on out. And so how do people go about reserving those tables
Okay, easiest
or
way.
getting tickets?
Easiest way is pretty simple. Is call me. My name's Mitch Costilow. My number is 740-418-0195. I got a flyer up on the screen, I think.
Yep.
We're trying to. My number's at the bottom. This will be on Facebook. I have it on Facebook, and it will be shared by. I actually posted that flyer the other day on Facebook, and it got shared. I don't know how many times as soon as I put it on there.
Okay, awesome. And then does Jaffe have a Facebook page? And
Yes, I'm not sure if that flyer's on it yet or not, but I'll
Okay.
call the guy today and make sure that it gets up.
okay, so just look that up. What is the Facebook page called?
I think it is just Jaffe or Jackson Area Festivals and Events.
Okay, just look that up. And but yeah, 418-0195 is Mitch's number there. And don't send him any dirty texts or anything, or I mean maybe, I don't know, but just inquire about tables, not other stuff.
But we will be happy to set you up. And even if you just got questions, if you don't know for sure what you want, or just call and ask me. I will be more than happy to sit and talk to you.
Absolutely.
I've got plenty of time, so I will talk to anyone.
There you go. It's as simple as that. So make sure 2024 Spring Dance with Rick K and the All Nighters. And it is at the Memorial Building. Well, the gym.
Yeah.
The gymnasium part of it on March 9th, which is a Saturday.
Mhm.
And it is from, what'd you say, 8 to midnight?
8 to midnight.
8 p.m. to midnight. So you can't go wrong with that.
Nope.
If you can stay up that late.
Yeah.
Which is struggle for all of us that were born a few years ago.
Yeah, it's starting to be, yeah, because I have to stay afterwards and clean the thing up. So,
Oh no.
we usually make a day out of it. We'll go uptown and eat, and then go to the dance afterwards, and just make a day of it.
Very good. And that's what it's all about. Just go have some fun. All right. Well, Mitch, is there anything else you wanted to tell us about? Anything else JAFE has coming up that you wanted to let our viewers know about?
Well, like I said, just our year-round stuff. We have the food giveaways. We have in the summer we've done Jeeping for Joy to help pay for our Christmas projects.
That's right.
And we have other projects coming up. We always have raffles, that kind of stuff going on. Keep in mind, anytime you buy a raffle ticket from a JAFE member, all these guys are volunteers. All the money is going into the projects, be it food drive, Christmas projects, something for the community.
It's going to help somebody.
Yes.
Yeah. Agreed.
And as are the profits from the dance. Everything goes back into the community. That's why we do this, to help make a better place.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Ryan Pelletier stopped by not too long ago to talk about their involvement in, you know, the toy drive there in Wellston.
Mm-hmm.
And basically he said, we all talk about asking for the stuff, but we never talk about afterwards, like what happens to the stuff afterwards and the delivery of what. But he was mentioning you all and some of the many organizations that help distribute toys and other things for families and kids throughout the holiday season. So thank you for all of that too. And a lot of times that's just all kind of behind the scenes, and a lot of people don't know that it's happening.
And people don't realize
It's a
the
lot of
number
work.
of families you're talking about in this county.
Yes.
The ones that need the food, that need the gifts for the kids. You know, you think you're excited. You bought a raffle ticket and you won something. You're not near as excited as a person that's getting the food, getting the Christmas gifts, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And you know, that's all very important as well. And any money that you give for any of these projects is going to that very kind of thing.
Yes.
So it's a great deal. All right. Well, Mitch, we'll let you get out of here. I know you have a lot of stuff going on, and we appreciate, though, you taking time to talk with us this morning.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Well, of course, you're welcome anytime. You know
thank
that. All right. Well, Hayden, you got that weather pulled up for us. I don't mind giving the weather this week, other than the rain in the forecast, but looks a lot better off and a lot warmer. So thank you, Mitch. We'll let you get out of here.
All righty.
All right. So today is Tuesday, and so here's the deal. The rain is kind of in the forecast throughout the rest of the week. But look at those temperatures. It's going to be almost 60 degrees on Thursday. We will take it. Not 60. Almost 60 degrees on Thursday. We're not going to know what to do with ourselves. We're all going to be running around in shorts. But 48 today, 52 tomorrow, 58 on Thursday, almost 60. And then 50s throughout Saturday, and then Sunday, a little bit cooler, and Monday, but still up in the 40s. And that seems like a virtual heat wave. Like, I went out this morning and walked with the dogs. I'm like, this is great. I don't even mind being out this morning, walking around in the snow. It's 40 degrees outside. Cool.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to walk in the snow today, but
Well,
at least it wasn't bad.
Dylan had an incident yesterday.
Yeah.
See, adulting is not fun, is it, Dylan?
Well, no, it's not fun, but it's usually not this bad. I don't know what was up with yesterday. Yesterday was just like, screw you. I don't know what was wrong with it.
So I get this call yesterday afternoon, and it says Dylan, and I'm like, well, Dylan never calls me. It's typically like a text or something. So I'm like, something's up. So I answer the phone, and he's like giggling hysterically, I think, or crying. I wasn't sure which. And he says, Jen, I'm on the side of the road. My tire blew out. And I said, okay. I don't know what to do. I said, number one, are you laughing or crying? Both. I said, okay, calm down. We'll get you. Stay calm. But so you had a friend to come and fix your tire.
Yeah, he got my spare on, but I didn't realize that my spare was older than me. So I got up this morning, my tire was flat, And yeah, I had no way to work, so I just walked it.
So you had to walk to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I don't live too far though, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, that's been my past couple of days, and now I've been working on some math homework. So
All right. What is your math homework?
it's sort of math. It's vector graphics. A vector is a type of file. This is what I understand, at least. I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
That basically uses math to like make the image quality higher.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having to understand how math relates to graphics.
Well, that's interesting because I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So, but vector files are the files that basically you send anybody for like high resolution printing and all of those things.
Yeah. And they're teaching me how to do that now, but it's a 2.5 hour long class once a week, and then the other days online. So basically, I'm going to have never ending homework with a due date of Sunday, and I have to be there once a week. Yeah. And then the second I got out of that class, I chilled for a minute, went back to the arena with some esports people, worked on some stuff, and then I drove home, and then my tire blew up. So
He didn't drive home. He attempted to
I
drive
tried to
home.
drive home, and my tire blew up.
I mean, I will say you made it to what? Almost the truck stop?
Yeah, well, a little past the truck stop.
Okay. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
I said,
but-
oh, here's the thing. Where are you, Dylan? I don't know that place that has like the cat on the sign. These are the conversations we have. I'm like the what? Where are you? I'm on the road to Rio. Are you going to Rio or are you coming from Rio? Coming from Rio. Okay. All right. I got that much.
Yeah, I was.
I never did figure out where you were. I just sent someone to go get you.
Yeah.
I was like, just keep driving until you see a green Ford Explorer alongside the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, honey.
It's been a crazy past couple of days for me.
Well, the suckiest part about it is now you're out. You're going to be out the money for 2 tires, right?
Yep.
For the Picklemobile.
Yep, the Picklemobile.
It is
Yeah.
so what tire blew out? Is it possible that that's the reason that your car goes sideways all the time?
Well, the guy that fixed it said that was the reason why. That's what a car does when the tire is starting to go out. It just starts to shift in one direction depending on the tire. And I was like, well, that makes sense. And then when I got back in it and he put the new one on, it was still drifting in one direction. And I'm like, I don't know if this tire is bad or if it's like, this is just my car.
Well, the
And,
answer to your question is the tire is bad if it's flat this morning. So.
yeah, so I'm hoping that's what the problem is. But he said that it could also be that the brakes are messed up and the brake is constantly squeezing towards one tire when it's not supposed to.
That doesn't
Just
sound
causing
good
the
either.
drift. Yeah, which could also have somewhat related to why the tire popped. If the brake was squeezing it while it was trying to drive.
Do you know a guy named Mark Carmen?
Yeah.
You might want to go talk to him
Yeah, I might.
about a safe vehicle to drive.
I don't think I can part with the Picklemobile
We'll
yet.
get you a pickle sticker to put on whatever car it is that you want.
I don't know. Well, I'm just gonna try and fix it and see how that goes.
Yeah, how's it working out for you so far?
Well, it lasted me for another year the last time I fixed it.
God.
At least this problem's not as bad.
I think your tire blowing up and falling off is bad.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? Not buy a new car, that's for sure.
You're nuts. Oh well. Well, we got him home safe and that's all that matters.
Yep, I made it.
Yep, you did. So what else is going on?
Well, just classes. I'm swamped with stuff with school, and it's something.
Yeah.
Coffee's helping. Hot chocolate's helping.
Mm-hmm.
Hayden's helping.
Yeah. So Hayden, our intern's here today.
He is. He probably won't come on camera, will he?
He will if I tell him to.
Oh.
Oh yes, he will.
I'm busy manning the spectrum.
Oh, he's busy manning his fingers are feverishly running the keyboard, which means he's sitting there.
I kind of see what you meant about they hide behind the monitor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All I know is that Hayden has curly hair and eyeballs.
Yeah.
That's all I see from here up.
Yeah, the hair is kind of covering the eyes a little bit too.
Yeah. He's awful cute though. We're gonna get him on here someday.
You'll get him eventually.
Oh yeah. All right. So you said that Jeremiah had some news.
Yeah, he had some videos for us to play. It's
Okay.
the Wellston mayor and the Jackson mayor's address to the city.
And those are so very important where it may sound a little bit boring. This is like their State of the Union basically, where they tell you kind of like what they're planning for the year and how they're hoping to implement it and whatever. And so it's very important if you live in one of these municipalities to listen to what they have to say. And if you have take umbrage with something or you agree with it or whatever, get involved. Showed up to a council meeting, call the mayor's office, and either support or whatever. If you have suggestions, do that too. Get involved.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just complain. How's that?
That sounds good.
All right. So are we going to play this or what?
Yep. Go ahead and hit it, Hayden.
Anyway, each new year, at the request of many of my colleagues, I try to make this annual report a little shorter than it was the previous year. And this year, after multiple revisions and over the last 10 hours.
All right. So tonight we're going to reflect on the progress and look forward at what's coming up in the following years. We're going to follow through on our commitment of laying that foundation for a better future. Is when I ran my campaigns, what I said I would do, and this is us coming to fruition. We've been working diligently on paving roads, repairing infrastructure, rebuilding and expanding parks, and giving our neighborhoods the attention they rightfully deserve. We are tracking as many grants as possible, and we're going to talk through some of the ones. We don't have them all listed out here tonight, but we're going to talk through some of the grants. We did a quick review on the ones that we could find that's already been implemented. We did over 1.5 million this year alone, and that's not including the 4.5 million total project for New York and Broadway. So we've executed a lot of grant money this year. Well, we're on the New York Broadway project. It finished up this year. Obviously, we finished it up at the end of 2023. It was nearly 1 mile of paving, obviously 2 miles of curb work, 1.2 miles of storm drains, and roughly, it's a rough guesstimate of 1.6 miles of water line and sewer line that got replaced. It was a major project for the city. Obviously, we caused a lot of disturbance in those neighborhoods. I really appreciate the neighborhoods and their patience working through that. It was a lot of work. Another project that was completed this month, actually, we just finished it, was the depot. This was done through the ODNR Capital Improvement, which was actually secured by Tammy Phillips, your new board member, executed by the city. That one redid the inside of the depot. A lot of work was done to the inside. We did lighting, we did paint, kitchen, bathrooms. We also, the big one that most people comment on is the gazebo done outside. We made it a much more sustainable building, got rid of the wood and the paint. We added lighting, all new sidewalks through the park. And we recently saw the curbs got added. That was the final phase of that project. We put the curbs in, added an ADA ramp down by the gazebo where it didn't have one. So a lot of work went into that. The next big one that we started on, this one started like probably the first month of when I first took over as mayor, was the Louis. It's been a journey so far. The first $20,000, we secured that through OVRDC with the help of the Ohio Development Department. That one was the $20,000 was to remove the debris, clean it out. We also secured it with the plywood that you see on it. We intentionally left the wood sideways so people could look in and see the progress going on. At the same time, we was also working with the ACGB grant. In that grant, we secured money for engineering, which a lot of you probably saw on the Facebook page. We had we put up the engineering drawings that we did, and that also gave us the cost estimate and stuff to move forward. And we're going into the next phase. Hopefully next month they'll be announcing who will actually be awarded the money to move forward. That's our plan right now to finish out the Louis to get that project moving along. So now we'll move on to the city crews. The projects that we did internal to the city. These ones are led mostly by our utility foreman Jeff Bates and Stacy Camp. Obviously new this year also. So a lot of learning curves. Obviously I've been learning my job. Stacy's been learning his. Jeff Bates he's been that rock that's been there just to help keep us moving along. So a lot of work's been put on his shoulders. We'll start out, we'll go through water distribution. Ryan Souders is our foreman for that department. Another great job for them. As you saw, that's the crew that you guys mostly see on Facebook, cold leaks in the middle of the night. It's that crew out there fixing them. So we'll go ahead. They started out, they replaced over 500 feet of water main service lines in 2023 with nine new water taps, repaired 115 water leaks, and replaced over 175 foot of sewer main. Added new sewer taps, and I'm sure you guys remember the whole lift station issue we had just outside of town. A major project for the city. That was solved by that crew. They're the ones who actually went out there. Part of that is we learned we had some deficiencies in training. No one is really confined space entry trained. So we got 5 people trained in that now. So we actually have people who can go in confined spaces now. Safely. They're trained on how to do it. Our fire department keeps gear that allows us to do it. So we have the means now to actually go into confined spaces safely, which allowed that project to get wrapped up in the end. Make sure I'm on my right line here. And I don't want you to think I'm going to not mention fire and police department. They're going to speak on their own section, so don't think I'm intentionally skipping over them. But I won't be speaking to their numbers. While I'm speaking about the water department, I just want to take a second to make sure we mention the Jackson-Vinton County community actions. They play a vital part in these economic times as far as helping people keep their water bills paid. People who fall delinquent, they help them get water restarted. They've been a huge component that's helped the city keep water turned on to our residents, because ultimately we don't want anyone to be without water. So a big thank you to that to that group to help keep water on. Then we'll do a quick rundown of some projects here. And this is one crew here. And then this crew, the infrastructure crew, I've mentioned them in the past, ran by Phil Thompson. This crew does a lot of the projects. Anytime you see us doing a larger project, it's ran by the infrastructure crew. If you see us replacing a lot of water line, putting in sewers, putting in fire hydrants, it's almost always that team. The team that you see working in front of Jim Bottling right now, that whole project is being ran by Phil Thompson. Our water distribution crew is actually helping out. We don't normally pair them up like this, but we're trying to get that project done really fast, so we actually have 2 sets of crews over there working to expedite that one. But we'll run through them. We did Vermont Street from 8th to 12th Street. Locker Lane saw a total replacement of 2,300 feet of water main, 2 fire hydrants, 35 taps. Under drain was installed in Minnesota, 14th Street, and behind the VFW. 5 catch basins were installed. And then one of the next steps that we started taking throughout our departments was maintenance, actually maintaining the stuff that we've installed and maintaining what we already have. So we did, I'll just read through them. 30 pressure check tests were performed, 227 fire hydrants were flushed, 201 water main valves were exercised. Performing that routine maintenance, because the exercise valves, there were exercise valves all throughout town. Most of them do not work. The ones that we've been installing and the ones that we've been able to get to work, we'll go out and exercise them now every year and make sure that they stay functional. That way we're needed when we have them. A lot of times when you see us doing, like the last leak, I believe it was over on 14th Street, if I'm not mistaken. The last one was on Facebook page. We saw that guy down in the hole with his foot over top of a water leak spraying out. That's because we have no way to shut the water off. So that's doing hot repairs. That line is live, and that guy's standing over top of the leak, keeping the water from blowing them out of there. We have no other way to stop it. That is a very, very fine skill set. Not anyone can do what these guys do. But with these valves that we're installing, that'll allow us to shut the water off in areas and stop this from happening. But right now, we don't have that ability. Paving. Everyone loves to talk about paving. So it's the last step, but the most noticeable that everyone likes. We did Lockwood Road this year, number 8 Pike, Broadway, South New York, Mitchell Drive, Velma, the alley behind the VFW, the alley behind the American Legion, the alley from 6th to 7th, and New Hampshire also all paving projects this year. That's a lot of paving in 1 year, and I promise you that is our goal each year moving forward. I know most of you haven't seen it. We haven't been buying new trucks. We haven't been buying new cars. We haven't been buying unnecessary equipment. We are focused on infrastructure. Everything we do right now is, if it's if it doesn't put a pipe in the ground, paved roads, we're trying to cut it out. We're looking at any way we can consolidate efforts, any jobs that we can consolidate, anywhere we can save money is a focus right now, because our infrastructure needs it. So we don't need all the other stuff right now. We're focusing on what we truly need. Our street department, we'll talk about it for a second, run by David Euler. These numbers are like, they confuse you, they're so high. 16 tons of cold patch, 283 yards of concrete, 18,000 gallons of emulsion for the Durapatcher, 60 loads of Durapatching, 2,900 tons of stone, and 260 tons of asphalt. One of the things we've been working on is alleys. We started out, I kind of leaned in heavy on it. They've been working on it for years, but we kind of leaned in heavier on it last year and this year again. Last year we kind of was on the northeast. This year you probably see us, we'll shift it. We're just going to keep moving around in a circle. So now we're kind of moving over towards the northwest side of town, working on alleys that direction, and we'll just keep doing it. It'll just keep going in a circle. Not every alley gets hit. Not every right of way is an alley. If there's grass growing up on it, it's not an alley. You won't be getting stone. But if there's stone down there, you can tell it's an alley being used. We will be coming through and working on them. What else do we have here? As you notice, the 30 acres were cleared out of the cemetery as that project continues. This year, the big part that we did is we laid in the road from the old cemetery moving up to the top of the hill, and we went through, and it was more of a cleanup more so than anything. So it probably didn't look like a lot happened, but they went through and got a lot of the small stuff, the small debris off the ground, the bigger stones, anything like that. Grass seed was laid down. Along that front side was that mesh style looking stuff with the straw in it to help because to keep the hill from eroding. So that part of the cemetery is moving on. This year we'll continue on with the road, to move the road, the lay in the bed for the road, not the actual road. We'll continue around, going down around that. This is one of those projects, it's a we have to have this cemetery. We're going to run out of cemetery in roughly 8 years. We're going to be out of cemetery. But it's unfortunately something that there's not a lot of funding out there for. So there's not a lot of money. So this is coming out of our capital. This is coming out of our budget to do this. So we've been doing it slowly. We're going to spread it out over 8 years because it's not a priority right now, but it will be. So we're just going to slowly just keep doing it and keep working on it, and hopefully by the time it becomes necessary, we're going to have it ready to go. If nothing, at least the front side of it, so we can start using it. Cemetery. All right. So now we'll talk about a little bit of the growth going on. In the last year, we had 11 homes built in Wellston. We now have 148 registered rental properties in Wellston. That was part of our code project. Was you talking code? I'm not stealing your thunder, am I? Okay. So we that project has been very successful. We've had a majority of our landlords keep very good properties, and we have very few problems. But we do run into them. And Brian's been very, very good about finding these properties, and we don't want anyone in Wellston living in substandard housing. So this is what the big thing when we stood this up what year did we stand up code? I apologize. I should know that.
For the rental property,
yes.
This is year number 2 for the inspection.
So it's a very important part for our city. We don't want to have a city that we have people living in substandard housing. So for me, it's very important, and I hope everyone else feels that way about it. But it's been very successful so far. One of the issues that I personally am passionate about is the parks. Our kids need somewhere to play. This is a relatively large city, a small city, but we need areas for our children to play. Kelly Lambert Park this year had some very nice upgrades if you haven't been down to it. 2 different grants was used to make this happen. Mindy Berry was actually very instrumental in getting the playground equipment for us. We executed that grant, and then we also followed it up, and we used the rest of the money left over from the COVID funds to put the fence around it. So we got a fence there now, so that park is safe. The next one that we're going to start focusing our energy towards is Blamer. We already got CDBG money. We got roughly $54,000, I believe it was. We got approved. We'll be putting up a fence.
could fit both of the mayors in today. But the great news is you can watch both of the State of the City addresses in their entirety on Hayden.
Facebook and YouTube.
Where on Facebook and YouTube?
The Telegram page.
The Telegram page.
Yep.
So there
And
you
Total
go.
Media YouTube.
Yeah, and Total Media. So you can see both of those, or if you missed something, or you're like, wait, what did he just say? You can watch it again, no problem. So, all right, let's head to the city of Jackson and hear from our mayor, Mayor Randy Evans.
Anyway, each new year, at the request of many of my colleagues, I try to make this annual report a little shorter than it was the previous year. And this year, after multiple revisions and over the last 10 hours, I think I may have done it. So for those of you who are keeping score, start your clocks. Each new year, I also like to hold myself accountable by reminding myself, as well as council, of the things that 5 years ago I hoped together we would try to accomplish if I was to become the mayor. First, I want my hometown to be managed more efficiently, more productively, and more professionally. And over the last 4 years, with your cooperation, we have been reorganizing and modifying our staffing needs to meet today's needs. These changes haven't been easy. In lieu of having supervisors over each department, we created operations managers to manage and guide multiple departments. And by empowering and trusting the people that they manage, we really can do and are doing more with less. My management team today is less than half the size of what it used to be here. Those changes and other cutbacks in staffing have been mostly accomplished through attrition, resulting in huge savings each year to the city of Jackson, and have allowed us to fund new services and meet new demands with less overall staff. One of these new services, for example, is our Geographical Information System, or we call it GIS. It continues to develop as we add more of our assets into the system, making all of our utility-related work more efficient. Also, by creating a position that can focus on grant writing and projects, we have secured over $11 million in grant funding to implement various infrastructure upgrades. To support existing business and promote future growth and investment, the city partners with, and I serve on the board of, the Jackson County Economic Development Partnership. Secondly, 5 years ago, I wanted the city to continue providing great service to our citizens, as they did, but I also wanted our utility rates to be more competitive. And to that end, the last time any utility rates were increased in Jackson was over 4 years ago. The rate cuts that council made in 2020 and the lack of any new increases have made our city utility rates very competitive with other area providers. Our utility departments, including our electric department, our water, our wastewater, and the utility office, all of these departments continue to provide incredibly reliable service to our customers and respond very quickly to any problems. We will continue improving efficiency by making in-house upgrades with our own personnel. Sewer line repairs and replacements have resulted in a noticeable reduction in stormwater entering our treatment plant. Our service departments, including street and alley, garbage, the mechanics garage, and the cemetery, all continue to provide great service. Our street and alley department continued upgrading streets, curbs, and sidewalks last year, and we plan to do even more of that with our in-house construction crews this year. And even though Rumpke has raised the landfill dumping fees substantially, we still have not raised the garbage fees we charge our citizens. The cemetery staff there has kept that 62 acres looking the best it has looked in years, while handling 75 burials. Our mechanics in the garage continue maintaining over 120 pieces of equipment, vehicles, and work trucks. Other services. The auditor's office continues to receive outstanding audit reports from the state. Our police department continues to make our town safer and reports a 50% reduction in overdose deaths. 0 homes broken into in the last year, and 0 robberies last year. And this year we're very close, we hope, to adding 3 desperately needed cruisers to our fleet that have been ordered for over 2 years. We also plan to implement a body cam program this year. Our volunteer fire department continues to do an outstanding job serving our community. We now have 13 members, and in 2023 reported 321 call-outs. My third goal 5 years ago was simply to clean up and fix up our town. Last year, our efforts to clean up included dealing with over 400 cases of ordinance violations, such as high weeds and trash, junk vehicles, and illegal dumping. And we have partnered with the Land Bank to complete 11 building demolitions last year. We have 9 more pending grant approval for this year. We resurfaced the parking and basketball courts at Hillcrest Park and added striping for pickleball. We constructed a new boat ramp and kayak launch at Hammertown Lake. That work is substantially complete, but not yet put into service. We paved over another 8 miles of 40 different city streets and partnered with ODOT to finally pave East Broadway Street. Our plan, as I've said before, is to repair and pave every street in town. But that's 52 miles of streets, plus the parks, plus the parking lots. It's going to take 8 to 10 years to get them all. And then by then it will likely be time to start over. We've replaced almost 3 miles of curbs in the past year, many sidewalks, and working with the tree commission, we planted 51 new trees. And we plan to plant over 100 this year. These efforts all over town, in every neighborhood, are bringing back community pride to our little city. So as I begin my 5th year as mayor, I recommit to these same goals. And we're going to continue to do all the good things that we've been doing the last 4 years. But we need to do more. This November, I plan to have the city income tax back on the ballot for renewal. City income tax provided us over $4.2 million in revenue in 2023. Remember, most of this income comes from people who live outside the city. And much of that tax, if it wasn't collected here, would just go to another city. We must continue the income tax so we can continue making all these improvements. We have been, and we will continue to, use the income tax exactly like we said we would. Up to half the tax revenue will continue to be used to fund the police department. This will provide almost all of the over $2 million police budget this year. I would like to revise the tax language as we go back to the ballot to allow the use of the tax to be used for police and fire department. The remaining tax revenue is and will continue to be used to fund infrastructure repair and replacement. The income tax allowed us to budget for over $2 million worth of additional infrastructure work for this year. Most of which, once again, will be street paving, curbs and sidewalks, water and sewer line work. Without the income tax, these projects would just not be possible. Even the grant-funded projects usually need income tax money to meet the match funds required. And even with all of these improvements that we've accomplished so far, we're really just getting a good start addressing the vast needs of the city. Most of our city buildings, as I've mentioned before, are in need of repairs or replacement also, and we need to start addressing them. We've applied for multiple sources of grant funding to help repair or replace the memorial building and plan to advance the planning for that this year. Also, in the next couple of years, we will be planning to improve or replace other buildings that are long overdue in our other departments. We've received 2 different grants to help us try to mitigate flooding along Salt Lick Creek and our city parks. Grants through FEMA and ODNR's AMLR funds funding totaling $2.4 million. All of our parks except Hillcrest are on the banks of the Salt Lick Creek or its tributaries. We want to continue improving and expanding outdoors, or opportunities for outdoor recreation at these parks, but first we need to mitigate the frequency and severity of flooding in these parks and these neighborhoods. Other things on the agenda for this year include we're looking at going to city-owned trash cans for our garbage service. We are in the process of updating our 40-year-old zoning regulations. We are pre-planning for the repainting of the Apple Tower. We are considering a couple different suppliers for upgrading some of our outdated computer systems, and we expect to complete this year a complete overhaul of the city's website. We're also adding Parks and Recreation Director to facilitate more and better access to our pool and recreational facilities. There's a lot of things going on in our city and a lot of things yet to do. And I want to conclude with these thoughts. Our purpose here is to guide and govern the process of providing services to our citizens. That's why we're here. Secondly, the money that we spend here to provide these services comes from them in the form of taxes and utility revenues. So we need to be good stewards of those dollars and spend it wisely and efficiently. The state of our city is good. It's very good. We've got a lot of momentum going in the right direction. We just need to keep it going. And in closing, I just want to say, I enjoy being your mayor, but I'm just the mayor. Everyone at this table is part of our team, and working together, we will continue to improve our great little city. Thank you to each of you guys.
Well, there you go. You have heard from both Mayor Randy Evans here in Jackson, of course, our Wellston mayor. Thank you. Sorry, Anthony. It just, phew.
No, I did the same thing yesterday. Someone in my class could not remember his
Wow.
name.
Sorry about that. I know that as well as I know my own name, I think. What's my name?
Jennifer?
There. Okay. Yeah. There you go. No, we want to thank both mayors for taking time to do their, of course, State of the City addresses. And we hope that you enjoyed them, maybe learned something and learned about what the future of our municipalities are. Like I said, if you have any questions or concerns, reach out to them. That's what they're there for. So, all right, need to get out of here for the day. We appreciate you so much for tuning in, and we will be right back here tomorrow. So have a great day. Bye-bye.